Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, this is going to be kind of just a heart-to-heart from me to you guys. First of all, I want to tell you about yesterday. Yesterday, did you guys ever have a bad day? Usually I don't say that. I really don't. Since I've been clean and sober, every day is, whenever I start to feel like, this is I'm having a bad day, I think back to just an average day back when I was using. And I swear to God, it lifts my spirits. I just remember what an average day was like. And as soon as I think that, I feel 100 times better. I forget the whole bad day. Oh, this is a bad day thing. Yesterday, though, was different. Yesterday was a truly bad day. It was just one thing after another. I got pulled over. I had a vape. I was smoking a vape, and I got pulled over by the police. They thought it was a cell phone. I didn't even have a cell phone in the car. They let me go after they checked to make sure it was regular. It was non-nicotine, non-CB oil or whatever. It was just regular vegetable juice in the vape. I've had a cell phone. I've been so happy because I've had this cell phone for like 7 years and it's still in excellent shape. And I was just going to trade it in for a Samsung 23, one of the new telephones, one of the new phones. If I was going to trade it in for like $500. And I dropped it yesterday. I just dropped it like a foot onto the tile, face down. And as soon as it fell, I knew it. And it smashed the screen. And then here's the big one. Yesterday, I made a big mistake. I realized this shortly after I downloaded yesterday's video about Banko Brown and the security guard shooting him. I realized this shortly after. The first 3 articles I looked up, like I mentioned in the video on TMZ, they didn't even mention that this person was transgender. The next 2 ones, I started to get this image when I watched Banko Brown fight. I'm being honest here. I misgendered this person. I wrongly identified Banko Brown, and I have to apologize for that. And this bothered me all day yesterday. I pride myself on bringing you guys the truth, at least the truth as I know it. And I usually check my facts. And this one got by me. I haven't checked the comments yet. I don't know if this got a lot of attention. I don't know if anybody even noticed or what. Shortly after I downloaded it, I realized that I said in the video, I said that Banko Brown was a transgender person from male to female, I said in the video. And there's another thing, this sounds ridiculous, but when I saw the name Banko, these are reasons why this got in my head, what I was thinking. And when I saw the name Banko, it reminded me of Bianca. And I pictured in my head, okay, well, this person changed their name. Because Banko's an odd name. And I thought of Bianca. And I pictured them changing their name to Bianca, from male to female. The new female name being like Banko, Bianca. That's what was going through my head. And I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Banko Brown is a female to male transgender person. Another thing too is when I listened to the recording of Michael Anthony, and he was misgendering Banko through the whole thing, calling him her. And I had read that he misgendered Banko Brown, but I didn't think it was through the whole entire interview, which is what he did. I thought it was just one time. And then I thought when he was talking through this whole interview, saying her this and her that and she that he was saying it correctly. So I got it wrong, and then plus, and then you add to it too, I didn't see close-up pictures. I didn't hear Banko talk. I just saw an obscure video, and honestly, I made an honest mistake, and I truly apologize. And it bothered me because I consider myself a supporter of the LGBTQ community, and misgendering somebody isn't cool. And that bothered me all day. And it was just, the afternoon got better. We'll just leave it there. But that really bothered me yesterday. Okay, so I thought about this too. It's the first thing that I thought was take down the video. But I didn't want to do that. I've had situations like this before, and I don't like trying. To me, it feels like if I delete the video, it feels like I'm trying to hide what I did. Like I'm trying to pretend it didn't happen, like a little kid pretending he didn't do something wrong. And I don't want to do that. I want to acknowledge my mistakes and apologize for them. And most of all, learn from them so I don't do them again, you know, so I don't make them same mistake in the future. Learn something from my mistakes. That's my personal way to look at these things. So I actually pulled up YouTube Studios and everything yesterday, and I had my finger on the button. I was debating deleting it, and I didn't. And I figured I would make this video today explaining everything and apologizing for misgendering Banko Brown. Okay, something else. Okay, here's what happened during the afternoon yesterday. You guys know I exercise. I got a busy day. I go nonstop from 2 in the morning when I first wake up until about 4 p.m. is when I start to wind down. Time for myself. I'll read, I'll watch a movie or something. So I'm going for good 12 to 14 hours a day. Another thing too is I have ties back in, I went to school for architectural drafting, and I went back to school. I got a certificate in architectural drafting. I worked for 2 different architects. I got a certificate in mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, and I had a job working for an engineer in Avon, Connecticut here. I was a Teamster truck driver. I've done a lot of things through my 57 years, and I still have connections in these fields, okay? Now, there's a reason I'm saying this. So I was riding my bike yesterday, and there's construction. There's a lot of construction going on in this town, and I'm bobbing and weaving on my 10-mile ride, and there's construction going on in a large, expensive home, and this has been going on for a while, and they're doing landscaping out in front, roofing, and all this other stuff. And I was trying to get around the trucks, and so one of the guys called me over, and he was a fit-looking, tall guy, probably around 50 or so, beard, and he was standing there, and I've seen him out there I've seen him out there most days when I go by. And he says, "Excuse me." He calls me over and he asks me if I'm interested in work. And right away I thought that this was somebody, because I still have connections in the drafting and construction. I still have connections in driving. People still call me that I used to work with, ask me if they need help doing something. Matter of fact, I have sketches over here I still use pencil and paper. Sketches. I got sketches. When people ask me for some ideas and stuff, I do favors, and I do some sides. I got a lot of side gigs. Let's just leave it at that. And I thought it was one of these people. And he says, "I see you going by here every day, and I was wondering if you could use some help." He says, "There's a lot of jobs out there." And I thought, like, again, I'm just standing and listening to him, and I thought it was somebody that knew me, or somebody from in my, so I was being very nice. And then he said, it wasn't, I thought he was going to offer me some kind of work, like doing landscaping, designing landscaping, civil draft, because I did civil drafting too. And that's what I pictured in my head when he was talking to me. And he mentioned a site. He said, "There's a lot of jobs online for a fit young man like you. There's no need for you not to have a job." He tells me. Now I start to now I'm like, what's this guy getting at? And I start to get a bad feeling. And he brings up, he keeps saying red balloon this and red balloon that. I came home and looked this up. Red balloon is I have never heard of red balloon in my life. I have a link down below. Apparently it's a right-wing job site, like for Republican job seekers and Republican people looking for jobs, right-wing people looking for jobs, and right-wing job workers. And he said, I'm a young fit man, and he said, "Look, you could get yourself a car, you could have a place to live." Because every day I go by on my bike, and I have a backpack and everything, my full backpack. And all of a sudden I realize this guy thinks I don't own a car, and I don't have a place to live. Like I'm homeless. I go by here quite a few times a day, going up, going down, going up, going down. And I think this guy, so I said, I told him, I said, "I have a car at the end." I'm trying to stay calm. I'm just standing there smiling. And I said, "As far as being young," I said, "I'm more than likely, I'm older than you." And he goes, "I don't think so." He said, "I'm 52. I think he actually called me son. I think he said 52 years old, son. And I said, "Dude, I'm 57. And he didn't believe me. He said, "Okay." He says, well, anyway, if you need, if you're honestly looking to do some work, and then you see he pushed this red balloon thing again. And I kept quiet. I didn't say anything through the whole thing. You know, I got side gigs. I make, you know, I got a nice place. I got my own apartment. I pay my rent before it's due every month. I have money in the bank. I'm doing fine. And I didn't say a word. I figure it's better. It's better that I just let this guy believe whatever he wants to believe. After I left, I started to get angry. I started to get real angry. So this was part of my day yesterday. All right. Let me talk about this really quick too, because I want to mention this. I want to have a link down below. I found this, and this really ticked me off. This was at the Trump Doral. This isn't related to what I just talked about. The Trump Doral, Dr. Peter McCullough. He was at the Trump Doral, and he was speaking about transgenderism and autism. You got to see this clip. And what makes me angry here is you guys know that I lost the love of my life, Audrey, to pneumonia, COVID-related pneumonia. She suffered a hideous death in Jacksonville, Florida on August 5th, 2021. And she was a staunch Trump supporter, Republican. She was my first girlfriend from when I was like in 3rd grade. I've talked about this before, from 3rd to 6th grade. She was the love of my life, my soulmate, but we were very different politically. And she believed people like this guy, Peter McCullough, Dr. Peter McCullough. And she believed that the vaccinations weren't good, that they do terrible things to your body. And I still remember the last time I talked to her, right before she left for Jacksonville. And she says, "Nah, I don't trust the vaccines." These are the last time I made eye contact with this woman. And she was telling me how she doesn't trust the vaccines, and it's because of people like this guy. So this guy is saying that he believes that there's a link. Now, this is not my opinion. This is misinformation from Dr. Peter McCullough. He's trying to link. You got to watch the video down below. This is a recent video from like this last week, where he's linking autism in children and transgenderism to over-vaccination. You know, and my mind just, I get angry enough that this guy calls himself a doctor and is spreading this kind of dangerous misinformation. But people like this are directly responsible for me losing the person I love most in this life. And I can't tell you how angry it makes me. It makes me want to go find Dr. Peter McCullough, you know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. The link, like I said, that Dr. McCullough link will be right down below. And the link to Red Balloon, in case any of you are looking for Republican-leaning jobs or Republican workers or right-wing workers or whatever. I know I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm doing good. You guys have a good Thursday.